I think the Batman is the best interpretation of Batman that I've ever seen from the page to the big screen. How's it going, everyone? I'm Chase, and welcome back to my channel. Let's break down the Batman. Now, this one comes to us from Warner Brothers. It is currently in theaters if you want to check it out, and please set aside some time to go see it. Between the length of the movie and the trailers and the pre-show and all that stuff that the theaters like to throw at you, just make sure you have enough time in the night. Now, I will only go with Alamo Drafthouse because at least they make the pre-shows cool. But everyone else needs to stop doing 30-minute pre-shows. That's just my small little take there. But yes, so please plan some time for this one. It is a long one. So what is this one about? When the Riddler, a sadistic serial killer, begins murdering key political figures in Gotham, Batman is forced to investigate the city's hidden corruption and question his family's involvement. And of course, Batman is in his second year of crime fighting, so he's new to all of this. We are new to all of this Batman, how he functions in this world. So, it was a new experience for everyone. But yes, it is only his second year fighting crime. So, going into this, I love director Matt Reeves. I think Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and War for the Planet of the Apes are two of the best blockbusters in the past 10 to 15 years. I wish he would have done the whole trilogy, but I'll take what I can get. But those are fantastic films. Please check those out. And he also brought one person that he worked with from those movies into this one, with Andy Serkis being Alfred. And then, of course, Robert Pattinson. I've always been amazed at the career choices that he has made post-Twilight. Yes, I have seen all 5 of the Twilight films, and yeah, I think they're trash. But what's really interesting is, like, when that franchise was done, I was generally curious to see where him and Kristen could go, and I'm glad to see them just kind of flourish in the indie world and be just indie darlings in everything that they touch. But when they do big stuff like this, that they're also beloved, and that's amazing to me. I'm glad that people are still behind them, even after Twilight and everything. But for all the people out there saying that they don't want to see this because he's in Twilight, he's done a lot more movies since then. Please give him a shot. It's been 10 years since the last one came out. Come on, people can move on. Anyways, I was curious to see where he was going to do with it. I saw the movie, and I cannot stop thinking about it. This movie is fantastic, and it's probably my favorite of the year so far. I know it's only March, but I wanted to see what movie was going to be the one to really set the expectations high for the rest of the year. This is the one that did it. Let's start with director Matt Reeves. What I think Matt Reeves does really well is pretty much everything in this movie, and it's really hard to break everything down. But here's how I kind of compartmentalized it in my head. The first thing I want to mention is that his vision for Gotham is awesome. It is seedy, it is grimy, it is dark. It just feels like a slimy city. It feels like it is ripped off of the pages and stuck on the big screen. It doesn't feel like it's a city that they shot in on this planet and, we're like, oh, that's like Chicago or like that's whatever. And I think they filmed in Glasgow. But this, it feels like its own separate thing. It feels like Gotham. And so it's its own breathing character. And so every time when someone was in a convenience store or walking down an alleyway or anything, it had its own sense of personality and just energy. And I really liked just the visual look to it. It really felt like it fit the neo-noir vibe that he was trying to go for with like the voiceover and like the serial killer aspect of following the clues and trying to solve the crime. I just thought his actual vision for the way Gotham looked just adds so much atmosphere and tone over the entire film. It's sublime. The second thing is that he was able to direct us for almost 3 hours with a very compelling mystery. This is the type of thing where when I saw the interviews and he was saying that like the Riddler is a couple steps ahead of Batman at all times, I had that mindset going into it. So every time when Batman came up with a clue, I was already thinking like, oh, Riddler's already like 3 steps ahead of you, my man. You got to speed this up. And so that made it more fun to kind of watch the mystery unfold and kind of like solve the clues with Batman and see what he can come up with and see if you can actually figure it out as an audience member before him and everything. Because the thing is, he's only in year 2. So he's not perfect. He's still trying to figure out his footing with the police department, with Jim Gordon and just the whole city. He's still trying to figure all that out. So he's not perfect at solving these clues. There's even a couple times where he fumbles in the movie, but that's what makes him a more compelling character, is that we are seeing him lose sometimes. We're seeing him fall a lot, and lose his bravado and his confidence as Batman. But he still is willing to continue putting on that cowl and trying to do the best that he can with vengeance, and figuring out towards the end that he's more than that. He's a symbol of hope for these people. But like I said, in the meantime, solving this mystery and going from set piece to set piece, I was just really involved with the clues that were being given out by the Riddler, the performances that feel like there's stakes to them, because this is a time-sensitive mystery. Everyone involved just has this like heightened sense of anxiety, and you're just like, you're in it with them because Batman's trying to solve it, and everyone's trying to figure out what the heck is happening and where's the Riddler. Like, the whole thing about the mystery I thought was really compelling storytelling. And there's even a couple of scenes where like Matt Reeves uses editing in a unique way to really kind of keep it fresh as the story is being told, so it doesn't feel stale, and it feels like it's the same thing over and over again. The Batman, Clue, go here with Catwoman, go back to Clue, all that stuff. It's the way it's put together. It just has such a nice rhythm to it that it is deliberately slow and really takes its time, and it really just kind of is paced out at this very just brisk pace. But that like every single scene is steeped with dread and atmosphere and acting and set piece and just action. Sometimes it's just an environment. It's a moody type of film, and I really enjoyed the way the story was told. And even when it got to the end, it was just a very explosive finale. I thought Matt Reeves did a fantastic job kind of weaving and navigating through the story, keeping it fresh, having the action sequences pop, having the mystery be compelling, bringing out the best performances in the actors, sprinkling bits of dark humor in there to kind of lighten up the mood a little bit. He's just a master storyteller, and I think this is no different. I want him to complete a trilogy in this, so don't have him do the first two and then have someone do the third one, or, do the first one, someone do the second one, he does the third one. I want him to do all of it. So let's not do the apes thing again. He needs to do all three, but I thought it was a really great job just kind of like telling the story. And then the action sequences. Also, I love the hand-to-hand combat that Batman has with criminals, or like when he's in his Batmobile chasing down the Penguin. All of it just feels visceral. It feels bone-crunching. It feels like it hurts. It feels like this isn't like some staged choreographed fight. It feels like Batman's punching the crap out of people. And the car chase has weight to it. It has real threat level. Like, it's just absolutely insane to me that some of this stuff was captured on screen. And when you see it on the big screen, it's just absolutely exhilarating. Your jaw is just on the floor from the amount of intensity that is just brought to the screen, because everything feels so grounded and so real. And that has to do with the fights, the car chases, everything. So I thought the action was also superb. But like I said, my favorite part was Matt Reeves really relying on the mystery and the story and how it unravels for all the characters. So yeah, there's that. So the action. And then also the character work I thought was really well done. I like the fact that Batman is this lost soul. He really seems like he's not connected to humanity anymore. And Matt Reeves is showing that. He's showing that, he's kind of a dick towards Alfred sometimes. He is someone that's still trying to figure out his place in the world and in Gotham. And, he has so much anger inside of him. He's kind of lost some of his humanity. And I like the fact that Matt Reeves kind of sprinkled character moments throughout, making Batman having these kind of empathetic moments, like with Alfred in the hospital, or, at the end when he realizes that he should be more for Gotham and be a symbol of hope. That's wonderful character work. And it's just really just crafting a perfect character arc for each person. I thought was absolutely wonderful. And of course, speaking of Alfred, Andy Serkis, I thought, did a really great job kind of being the father figure for Batman. He knows that he can't really overstep his bounds, because even there's a time in the movie where, Bruce is like, "You're not my father," and all that stuff, but like he's still there. That's his support system. And I really, really like the fact that he even got roped into this mystery and really his life was at risk, and I think in the sequel, I can't wait to see him come back and kind of do a lot more stuff. Zoe Kravitz is Catwoman, really great stuff as well, because at first she's just a person that, you know, goes to work, and at night she steals from a lot of people, and she just tries to live her life, and then she crosses paths with Batman, and we get to see her kind of grow as well, and how she's connected to all these characters. And then I really liked, you know, like the Riddler, and like just the way he felt, absolutely terrifying, and I like Paul Dano's performance, but also you understood where he came from. You know, those are the best types of villains. Those are the best, like, three-dimensional villains, are ones that we can slightly empathize with, and we can understand where they're coming from, even though we don't agree on how they're executing it. So I thought he handled the Riddler really well too. I don't know what else more to add to Matt Reeves and the way he tells this story. He's just a master. He really is. Performance-wise, everyone does a fantastic job. Robert Pattinson is a lot of physicality in his performance. You know, he kind of delivers most of his lines in one set tone, but that makes total sense to where, like, you know, Batman is at in his life at that point. I like the fact that he can put on his cowl, and we can understand what his eyes are saying, and what his face is doing, and how it emotes, and how we can feel that as an audience, and he doesn't even have to say a word. I like the fact that he has this presence with Gotham PD, and that people fear him, and like he wants to be that symbol of fear for criminals and everything, and you can feel that presence as he's walking. He's not even saying anything. And so I really liked how he did everything, where it was all facial acting, all body movements, physicality, and then all of the dialogue scenes with specific people. He really just kind of understood that Bruce Wayne is this broken soul, and he has lost his connection to humanity. And, like, you know, there's glimpses of hope with, like, Catwoman and stuff, and how he connects with her. And I just thought it was a really dynamic performance from Robert Pattinson. I mentioned Andy Serkis as Alfred. Really great stuff. Paul Dano as the Riddler. Absolutely horrifying. I like the fact that he was kind of unexpected. So every time when he would have a scene and he was talking to someone, you had no idea what he was going to say, how he was going to act, how he was going to move. He was like this slithering snake that just, like, would slither for a little bit and kind of, like, just sit there, and, like, you're just like, you want to stay away from this guy because you just don't trust him. You just got the sense that he was just this slimy person. And I thought Paul Dano really just kind of emphasized that. And he just did a really terrifying job as that character, and I absolutely loved watching his performance. Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman. Really great stuff. I want to see more from her, but I think for her first outing, she had a lot to do, and I appreciate that. Colin Farrell is the Penguin. Under all that makeup, I still couldn't figure out if it was him or not. You cannot tell. And so with his performance, I thought he also was just in the makings of being this super villain. So at the end of the movie, you're like, okay, he's going to do some real damage in the sequel. But just right off the bat, with that accent, with the amount of backstabbery that the Penguin has, I thought Colin Farrell did a wonderful job. And then John Turturro as Carmine Falcone. Really great stuff, because he's got no makeup to hide behind. He has no suit to hide behind. He is just a person, but he is the most despicable person of the entire character list on this in this movie, besides maybe Peter Skarsgård as the DA. Woo-wee! John Turturro, you just wanted to punch him in the face. He was just pure evil. So unlike the Riddler, it's like you don't really you don't have any empathy towards this guy. You don't understand anything he's trying to do. He just wants to hurt people. But that is the power of Turturro's acting. He just quietly and kind of he could be in a scene and just say like something really simple, but you can get that feeling that he is just an overall bad dude just from the way he talks. But all the performances are spectacular. So to touch upon the length of the movie, I think it's edited actually pretty well for it being a 2 hour and 45-minute movie. But just be prepared. This is not, some action beat 'em up movie that, is like action packed every 10 minutes. This is a very methodical movie. It's a slow burn. It is, us as an audience and Batman trying to figure out this mystery and the clues, and just it's all about the atmosphere and the way it's presented, and it's supposed to make you feel unnerved and creeped out, and it's a different type of vibe than like the Christopher Nolan movies or Michael Keaton and all that stuff. So it's a different rhythm, it's a different pace, but I think it works because what they were trying to execute, I thought they executed it really well. And then the score. The score and the sound design are absolutely just superb on every single level. I've listened to that Michael Giacchino Batman theme over and over again ever since I've seen the movie. I just think that is the type of score that is, one, it's memorable. Two, it fits with the movie. And three, it's actually used in different scenes, different vibes, but it's slowed down. It's used by just a piano in a couple of scenes. It's also used with strings, and like it's different instruments implementing the same song, but in different patterns. And it's absolutely effective in every single scene, whether it be like this fast-paced, energetic scene or like this horrific scene of Batman lurking around the corners, because this movie does have a horror vibe to it. It's like a serial killer movie, so it's horrifying in some aspects. When it's slowed down, or like when there's a little bit of romance fluttering between him and Catwoman, it's used in a different sense in that way too. So it's a score that's used in many different ways, shape, or form, and it fits every single time. And then, yeah, I know people are commenting on the Nirvana song. I actually kind of liked it. Once again, adds to the atmosphere. But yeah, I thought the music was wonderful, and then the sound design of the Batmobile, just even Batman being at the club with all these people around, and he's fighting all these henchmen, and like it's just stuff like that just make you appreciate like sound design even more, because it's just such a complex movie with so many sounds just drenched into every single scene, but it's just sewn together beautifully to make this wonderful Batman quilt that we all just kind of like got to witness, and it's just something really special. I know I went on for quite a bit, but I really love this movie, and I really hope you do too. So please let me know down below what you thought of this movie, and let me know whether you loved it, hated it, thought it was okay. I want to know your different opinions, because there's a lot of different opinions on this movie, and I want to know yours down below. So that will do it for this review, guys. I'm Chase Lee, and tune in next time for whatever I review next. I will see you guys later.